Yeah.
Rock and roll! Rock solid!
That's how I am right now.
What? Deep Rock Galactic is a game I always keep on my hard drive. I've played quite a bit of Deep Rock, but it's still one of those games that I keep coming back to, not for the fear of missing out or to keep grinding the game, but because it's just a fun game. So what exactly is Deep Rock? Well, it's a co-op shooter in the same vein of Left 4 Dead, albeit with a little bit more added on. For starters, you play as Dwarves. Need I say more? Well, I suppose I should. There are 4 classes you can pick from, each with their own unique weapons and equipment: the scout, the driller, the engineer, and the gunner. There's also 8 mission types and 10 environments, each with their own distinct hazards and looks. There's a lot in this game, and with the missions being procedurally generated, there's a lot of variation in the caves you'll be in, meaning that each mission will have its own challenges to overcome. Pair that with the equipment each class can bring, and you've got yourself a game that always has something interesting going on.
Final contagion spike neutralized. All signs of rock bugs have been eliminated from the cave. Well done.
Gameplay is fluid, and each weapon has a great feedback, both in terms of the sound and the visuals. Guns have satisfying booms and clicks, and the bugs have just the right amount of splat, especially when you get a weak point kill. There's quite a few bug types, too. There's small bugs, big bugs, spit bugs, roll bugs. I'm not quite sure if they're more alien or bug, but either way, they're a fun enemy to fight, and they pose a decent enough challenge on the higher difficulties to force you to work with your team and exercise your class's strengths. No matter what class you decide to play, each has its own set of weapons, and they're a lot of fun to use. From the scout's double-barrel shotgun to the engineer's lock-on rifle, there's a lot of options for splattering aliens, and it's hard to get bored. The tools each class has bring a lot to the table as well. The scout gets a flare gun and a grappling hook, because what game isn't better with a grappling hook? The driller gets, and you're not going to believe this, a drill for carving through the environment, along with explosive charges. The engineer has a tool for making climbable platforms with a turret or set of turrets. And finally, the gunner receives a zipline launcher and a bubble shield for protecting the team.
Drop pod departing in T-minus 4 minutes. The mule's been successfully retrieved. Make it snappy, team. The drop pod won't hang around forever.
All of these tools are helpful in their own way, but while they do make life easier, they're not totally necessary, which allows you to play as whichever class you want without being forced to play any particular one. You can have 4 scouts if you want, and the mission will be just as fun as if you had a full team of each class. To further add to your arsenal of tools and equipment, there are also what are called overclocks, which enhance your weapons to give new properties or simply boost a given stat. Take the engineer's grenade launcher, for instance. It's a simple shoot and boom weapon, makes sense, but there are overclocks for it to turn your grenades into nukes at the cost of ammo capacity. Or how about getting more ammo capacity and making your grenades launch you and your teammates into the air? These are just a couple of examples, and it doesn't take long before you find some overclocks that really make a weapon shine. The missions themselves make good use of the weapons and equipment, with the maps being randomly generated for each mission and the environments being totally destructible. This means that even when you get a cave that has really weird terrain, you can still make use of it, since all it takes is a bit of creativity between you and your teammates to turn an awkward landscape into an advantageous combat arena. From making makeshift bunkers to carving out a bell tower to fire down on your enemies, the possibilities are endless with the tools on offer. Speaking of tools, though, there's one in particular that every dwarf has. That is the laser pointer. This thing is by far what ties the whole co-op experience together. Can't find your friends? Pull out the laser pointer. Curious on what minerals on the wall? Pull out a laser pointer. Want to call attention to a big enemy? Laser point it. Paired with the amazing callouts and one-liners that the Dwarves offer, you're going to want to ping everything, and I wholeheartedly recommend it.
We're rich. We're rich. We're rich. We're rich. None can stand up. We're rich. 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 We're rich.
If you decide to play without any extra dwarves, that doesn't mean you'll be alone. The company you work for is generous enough to send you with a friend, Bosco. This little dude can do all sorts of things, from firing machine guns and missiles at enemies to mining minerals and lighting up a cave. All it takes is a quick ping with the laser pointer and he's off to do whatever you need him to do. He's a huge help, and honestly, sometimes it's better to have him than 3 other players. When you're not on a mission, though, you'll be in the Space Rig, a centralized hub where you'll outfit your dwarves with the latest guns, pickaxes, overclocks, and all sorts of cosmetics. Oh, and drink beer. Lots and lots of beer. Oh, there's so much beer. Some of the beer you can purchase will also give you various bonuses on your next mission, so be sure to buy a round or 2 for your fellow dwarves. There's always something to unlock and work towards here in the Space Rig, and while the currencies can be a bit overwhelming at first, you'll quickly amass quite a bit of money and materials to spend on all sorts of things. You can even play Jetty Boot. He's just crushing it right now.
Bro's about to beat your high score. Dude, bro is destroying.
This guy is crazy, man. As a whole, I cannot express how much fun this game is. Everything comes together to make an amazing time that's fun every single time I play it. From the gunplay to the upgrades to the beards. I just can't get enough. It's a fun game to play alone and gets amplified with friends or even random public lobbies. Deep Rock is a seriously great time, and I recommend it to anyone looking for a fun co-op shooter that never gets old.